So around a year ago, I lost my job at Ocado after working there for around just 1 month. I was then threatened with legal action. Why? Well, we're gonna get into it on today's video. It's another day here in Montenegro. I want to ask everybody before we get into today's video, smash like, comment down below, and if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. But for now, guys, let's get into the video. I was sacked by Ocado after being hired a month prior. So if you're a regular to the channel, you'll know a year ago I was doing a 100-day challenge to pay off a loan. I wanted to attempt to pay it off in 100 days. And that meant having multiple jobs at the same time and absolutely smashing out TikTok and YouTube. I don't know how I fit everything in. Now, this is probably one of my favorite YouTube periods I've ever had. In fact, I would say it's the favorite. And I think around 20 days into the challenge, I decided to get myself a full-time job. At the time, I was doing Domino's and doing TikTok, but I felt like I could have something full-time on top of that, and it's really gonna lift those wages up. And I was working at Domino's actually, and I'm behind this van at the traffic lights, and it's an Ocado van. And I think to myself, you know what? That'd be a decent job. Wonder if I could do that. I've done Amazon before. So I texted the number at the back of the van and it said, "We are hiring." Before I knew it, I had myself an interview at Ocado. Or did it just go straight to induction? By the way, check this house they're building over here. Incredible. We're in the mountains of Montenegro and it's gorgeous. Anyway, I do my induction at Ocado. And on my very first day, I get called into the office, which, I mean, I'm just starting, it doesn't really mean much to me. The first thing the manager said to me in that office was, "Oh, it's Mr. TikTok." I said, "Oh dear." And then he sat me down, he said to me, "Zach, I saw your Amazon videos and stuff on TikTok. I saw you've done other things like Domino's as well. I was just wondering whether you were planning to film at Ocado while you're here." So I said, you know what, like, I would film if I was allowed to film. If I was asked not to film, I wouldn't film. And although it would have been unfortunate, I just wouldn't have filmed and got on with the job and filmed afterwards. I think he felt like I was there just to get some videos and then get off, when that wasn't my intention, but that's what ended up happening anyway. And I said, "Look, I'm not going to film today. You get back to me when you speak to the proper management." Then I had the meeting with the two managers. I don't know which one was more important. And then they said, "Okay, Zach, you are allowed to film. We actually feel like it may be positive for the business, but you can't do certain things." I forgot what it was off by heart. Well, I started working for Ocado. I was making little videos, but it wasn't like I wasn't spending loads of time on them. But they weren't full-on Ocado videos. They were just part of the channel at the time. I made sure to follow the little guidance I'd had. I was still filming at Ocado, but just being a little bit more cautious whilst they're working. And to be honest, Ocado is a decent job. I would recommend delivery drivers who have maybe been at Amazon before, if you want something a little bit easier, go to Ocado, or even better, I haven't done it, but I've heard as the Tesco, Sainsbury's, they're even easier. So I still have a decent perception on the job. There may have been a few jobs waves in the office, but you'd only see them for 5 minutes a day. It seemed to be a high turnover, people coming in, people coming out. But I liked it for the short time I was there, and it was a lot easier than being an Amazon delivery driver. Anyway, I got there one day and I knew something was up. I didn't have any work scheduled, and the manager that was in at the time was just telling me, "Oh, just wait there. We got a meeting," or something like that. I was on a business day officially, and I get pulled into this room with two of the management, showing the process in a professional way. I actually did Ocado a lot of justice, because if you watch them videos, even there were comments saying, "Oh, that's a really well-run business," and it is to an extent, but I've just had a bad experience there, and I'll tell you why. So I was brought into this room with the two management. First thing they said to me is, before we proceed with this meeting, "Would you like a union rep in the room with you at the same time?" I was like, wow, I feel like I'm getting interrogated here. Yeah, go on, I'll have a union rep in here with me. And there was only 3 chairs. Now the union rep comes in and one of the managers goes to him, which I'm not offended at. I'm not woke or anything, but you can't do this in a business, and you can't do this when you're gonna fire me. He goes, "Oh, there's only 3 chairs. you should sit on my lap. He said something along the lines of the union rep sitting on his lap. It was a joke. I'm not offended. If it was a woman, it would have been slightly inappropriate. It wasn't the best professional move, and I actually kept that quiet following on from getting sacked from Ocado. But you know what? That's a piece of truth you can have. Bad move. And that was one of the managers at the time. I forgot his name, and if anybody asked me, I wouldn't tell you which one it was. They then proceed in this meeting to go on, I spoke to you about your social media at this date at this time, and I said this, this, and this. I was like, hurry on, get on with it. Am I gonna be fired or what? Why is the union guy here? It's not that big of a deal. Just ask me to delete it, I probably will. And it was a big serious meeting. They are writing down every response I gave to the questions, which I didn't respond too much to because I'm not stupid. I was very vague. I was very unfazed, to be honest, because it was cool. Like, I had 3 jobs at the time anyway. Wasn't planning to be there. I was just like, yeah. Oh, I wish not to comment on that. And they looked at me stupid. Like, why the hell would I comment on something that is like, you're literally there to try and build some kind of case on me? I'm not gonna answer your questions, mate. And so they say to me, would you be willing to delete the YouTube videos and TikTok videos that are currently up at Ocado? And they gave me a chance to step outside and think about it. The union rep come up to me and said, just delete them videos, bro. It'll be sound. You'll get your job back. That's sound. You've got a good job here working for these. If you delete them videos, they'll let you stay. So I was like, go on. I don't care too much about working at Ocado, but I'm going to privatize these videos because I'm not stupid as well. I put all these videos on private. Didn't delete a single one just in case, and it's a good thing I didn't. And I was like, yeah, okay. Go back. Well, let's go back in the meeting room then. I go back. They're like, have you deleted all the videos, all the footage? I'm like, yep. They're like, are you sure they're all gone? They're all gone. Talking amongst themselves, and they're like, right. And we're going to terminate your contract. So it's just like, I was angry, but not too much. Like, I slid the phone. I didn't throw it like their work phone. Slid the phone back to them. Stood up, walked out. I was walking out the door, getting my phone up to unprivatize all these videos and basically make all the videos I made there public again. Because I'm not going to be made for a fool. The union rep said to me, delete these videos and your job will be sound. So I delete the videos and my job's not sound. You know what? These videos are going to be brilliant. And the day before, I'd recorded another one too, which was a banger in Liverpool city centre. And even though you've sacked me, that video's going out tonight. And then on the video the day after, I announced that I got sacked by the company. Found it quite funny, to be honest. And their best move would have been just to let me stay. I like that job. I still like that job, and I would recommend it to everyone other than people who make YouTube videos whilst at work. And then I received both letters and emails from lawyers at Ocado. I don't want to say anything that could get me in trouble legally, you get me, but they asked me to delete it, or they could proceed with some court proceedings, something like that. Again, not bothered, didn't delete anything. And you know what, if someone like that tried to sue me, then it wouldn't really affect me that much. I don't have loads of assets in the UK. Worst case is you'll bankrupt me, which would probably be a relief to me anyway. Or on the other hand, I could always just go and get a job in Australia or something and just, you know, it's always an opportunity. And I was so unfazed and I ignored it. And I didn't take any videos down because the videos aren't inappropriate. I don't show no addresses. I just show them what it was like as an Ocado driver. And I also kept my mouth shut on a few things. One of them was the joke with the free chairs, which is inappropriate professionally when you're gonna sack me, regardless of not whether I'm offended at it. Oh, there was other things that I haven't mentioned and I still won't mention. And if anything legal was to happen, I probably would mention. I had a lot of people reach out to me actually with footage and stuff that they've had bad experiences in the company. I spoke positively about working at Ocado. It's easier than Amazon, I said. I swear people ask me still, oh, I watch your Ocado videos. What's it like there? I've got an interview there. And I always say, it's a good job, you know. I just got sacked for making videos. And looking back a year later, I'm not really offended. I'm not really bothered. Would have been helpful to work there, but at the same time, I had so much success on my TikTok following on from getting sacked from there that I made more money without them. I could sure probably do it with them now because I'm currently in Montenegro. I'll have to return to the UK soon and look for some work because my TikTok is not in the same position it was a year ago, unfortunately. Non-stop morning till night, and I enjoyed it. It gave me a lot of energy actually. Nothing happened after that. I wasn't expecting anything to happen after that. Something could happen now. I doubt something will happen now. It could do though, you never know. And it's crazy. Should have just let me stay after deleting my videos. They were actually private. I felt so bitter just walking out and putting them videos back on because they made a big point of me before telling me that my contract's been terminated. But they definitely deleted, yes. They are. They're completely gone. They can't come back. And I was just like, I wish I could see their eyes when they just see, oh, it's back up. Oh dear. But it was a bad move from them because I was always pretty open with them, and I said, like, if you don't want the one, just tell me, talk to me. And like I said, working at Ocado is decent. The management's a bit jobs worthy, to be honest. I also had a meeting with the main manager, which was not before I got fired, but like a week before. He was alright, like, but every time I'd chat to him, he'd make a big deal out of the fact he's never seen my channel. He'd never watched the videos, which is alright. I didn't need him to see the videos. I don't think I'm a celebrity. I'll happily go and work at Ocado, you know what I mean? Mentioned that the first time. He's not interested. He's not going to see them. And then the last time when he brought me in for a meeting to kind of give me a warning, I was like, I mean, you've probably seen the videos, so you know they're not that bad. And he's like, I have not seen your videos. I don't care about YouTube and TikTok. I'm not on social media. I haven't watched your videos. I didn't know who you were. It's like, all right, buddy, bro, calm down. It's all right. You didn't know who I was. That's fine. And I guess that's the story. I was working there for a little bit. It's a decent job to have. You'd start at like 1 week at 5 a.m. and then you'll start the next week at like 4 p.m, which is a bit inconvenient. For me, I would like to do 5 a.m, 5 a.m, 5 a.m, 5 a.m. every week. That way I could work at Domino's in the evening. It was a good job whilst it lasted. But anyway, I thought I'd take you guys to a nice little church here in the mountains of Montenegro. Not many tourists will have ever seen this church, I am pretty sure. It's beautiful. Would I recommend working at Ocado? Yes. Would I recommend working there if you're a YouTuber who shows the process of their work and stuff? No. So I guess for 99.9999% of people, it doesn't apply to. Though also, if you're not a very good driver, don't work there. That narrows it down to about 20% of people because 80% of people can't drive. Anyway, check out this church and graveyard on the mountaintop. Let me show you. It's amazing. So when we're down into Vat, I see this church. And I was always thinking, I wonder how close that is to our apartment. And then I went on a walk yesterday. We're about a kilometer from our apartment. That's how far it is. 1935 to 1997. 2025 there. That's a nice one. Montenegro is an Orthodox Christian country. It's predominantly Christian, and I think it's very religious, to be honest. And you got the Kotor Bay, which is not a lake, in the distance. Absolutely incredible. Now this will be the people who are from the area, I'm only assuming. Now does that mean there are 6 people buried here and it's that family? I'm not sure. I like the photos of the people. That's from 1955 to 2002. Beautiful atmosphere, and you should see this church. When you're down into that, you just see trees around it and then this church. And I guess if you pull on them ropes and it's gonna make the bell noises that we're not gonna do out of respect. Bells go off at a particular time. But as you can see, 1849. I wonder if this is ever open. I don't think many tourists have seen this church, to be honest. It's a beautiful place. Now, one of the 2 main Montenegrin mafias are actually named after this area. Don't know if that means they originated in this area, but it is a safe area to walk around. I believe so anyway. See, a lot of these mafias, whether it be Montenegrin, Albanian, Turkish, Serbian mafia. A lot of them aren't primarily in their own home countries, but they're from their home countries, of course. I guess this is one of the places mafia dealings went on, drug dealings. I don't know. That's just what a taxi driver told me. And that was my experience working as an Ocado delivery driver for around a month. Hopefully this video doesn't get me sued. But anyway guys, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to the channel if you're new. I've got another story about how I was suspended from Amazon for a similar thing. If you want to hear that, comment down below and I will see you in the next one.